All right. Hey, hey, hey. I hope you can hear me now. What's up, MoJo family? Welcome to the Real MoJo Show. I'm your host, Missy Djomo, the Real Djomo. Here we talk real life, real parents, real struggles, and how to move forward even when it's hard. Tonight we're diving into a hot topic that every single parent has a debate about. Let's talk about putting ourselves first. Do you think it's selfish? Or is it a smart strategy to protect your peace, happiness, and mental health? Let's talk about it. But before we go, we're going to see who is in the room today. I'm going to go ahead and drop this link. Uh-oh. And as you just come in, drop a hello. Let me know where you are watching from. And we are going to dive into some deep conversation because this topic right here is one that it had me confused before, but I'm no longer confused. I do have a side that I have picked, and you'll have to see what it is in the show. So push that like button, share this with other single parents, or even if maybe not a single parent, but you're living as a single parent because maybe your spouse is away, maybe in the military, maybe just in another city, or even in another country. And so you are having to do it alone, even though you are married, but you're living as a single parent. This is going to be a show that you're going to want to hear because I do have an opinion and I want to see each and every one of you. What is your opinion about putting yourself first as a single parent? Let's talk about it. All right. So, are you ready to dive into this conversation? Let's see who's in the building. Hello, Sandra. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Thank you for being such a faithful subscriber. Who else is in the building? I know that my real fam is coming in. I've seen them in and out, but come in and say hello. Tell me where you are watching from. I know that I've had people from all over, and I'm so blessed. But it's just such a wonderful feeling to have my MoJo family come in support, to have my neighbors come in support, have my friends come in support. So thank you all, thank you all. But we are going to get down to it today. So, single parents, why should we feel guilty? And of course, you know that I am not a single parent, but I lived most of my children's life as a single parent, and it was not easy, let me tell you. And I did carry a lot of guilt for the decisions I made. Some decisions were, yeah, they were good decisions, but I also made some not so good decisions in my single parenting life. And we are going to talk about it because I know some of you out there are probably feeling the same way, wondering, am I making the best choices for my children as a single parent? And should I feel bad about putting myself first? Biba, my girl is in the building. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Um, Biba, share with the real fam, please, because I did it earlier, but um, I had some time between as I was preparing to come and share this information with you all. So thank you, Biba, for coming. Thank you. So let's jump in. All right. All right. So single parents carry a whole household, right? They're the provider, the disciplinaries, the comforter, the math tutor, the taxi driver, I absolutely refuse to drive a mom van. So that wasn't me taking the kids to the soccer. I'm so sorry. But we're also the therapist, the chef, the bill payer, the human ATM machine. And at the end of the day, we're human. Well, I'm here to tell you, we put all guilt behind you because um you know, a lot of times society expects a 24/7 sacrifice as a parent. And when you don't fall into the realm of what society expects, you feel judged, you feel guilty, you just feel like you are failing. And because they say your child only depends on you. I'm here to say today, self-care doesn't mean that you are being selfish. It is very important to self-care. Hi, welcome. Hey, Lisa. Lisa, welcome to the show. I think this is the first time I've seen you in the building. Thank you for joining. Definitely like and share, subscribe if you enjoy the content or if you know others who might be interested in this content, because here we talk about real life and we go raw. I share a lot, and I'm glad that you're here. So, some of the guilt that we feel, like if we stop to take care of ourselves, if we don't, excuse me, if we don't stop to take care of ourselves, then who will take care of um, our kids if we can't? It is very important. But the truth is, if you break down, your kids are not even getting the best version of yourself anyway. So it is best to take that me time before the break, because after the break, it takes more time to rebuild. Hi, Yinkas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the show. By the way, everyone, I'm just going to take a quick pause. Welcome my real fam in the house. And I'm going to say, if you are married, if you are on the other side of this parenting, if you're married with children, or if you're just married, Yinkas is that is the place for you. That is the YouTube show. Please go like and subscribe to her show, because she shares the real deal on her show. And it's only, I think her podcast, they're just like 7 or 8 minutes, and they are powerful beyond just anything. Thank you, Yinkas, for doing what you do, because it is so important. Hello, Uncle Benno's in the house. You're in the house. Lisa says you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anyone else. Exactly. I always say you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you have nothing to pour into someone, um, you're empty. You're empty. You can't give what you don't have. So you definitely have to have in order to give. So thank you so much, Miss Lisa, for that comment. So, I'm sorry. So you don't y- putting yourself first is not neglect. It doesn't mean that you are neglecting your children. You're saying no to not burn out. You're not entertaining those toxic thoughts in your mind, um, because like the comment just said, you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anyone else. Make me time a goal. Sometimes we confuse me time with being selfish, or sometimes we confuse self-care with being selfish, and that is a lie. We need to make sure that we don't allow some societal views to taint our vision. We have to work with what we have and do the best we can. we can with what we have. Um, you can't pour from an empty cup, so you constantly have to grow. You constantly have to take time out. What I like to do is I do massages, and I don't I say sorry, not sorry. Sorry you can't join me, but not sorry that I'm enjoying myself. That mental break is necessary or you will break. So take some time for yourself. If you're a single parent, even if you're not a single parent, even if you are living the life of a single parent because your significant other or the other person is not in the house. Um, Uncle Ben says, yes, Yinka is the best short video advisor. I say absolutely. Oh my God, sister, thank you for. Oh, of course, Yinka. You don't know what you have done for me. You are changing my thought process completely. Sandra says it's hard at times as a mom to put ourselves. It is. It's hard, but it is a must because if we don't, we are going to face burnout and empty cups that we can't even give back. And I know because I've been there, and I'm trying to save this story that I'm going to share just a little bit. I'm a big on putting yourself first. It's important not to feel guilty about taking care of oneself. That's the only way you can pour quality in your family. Exactly. Exactly. You have to take time to um, re-energize and so that you can give energy because I remember I always used to always feel tired because I was always running after the kids and I always wanted the house to be nice and neat even though I had three kids running around. They were only 3 years apart, so just think about it. When one was well, I was a single parent since my youngest was 7 months old, so you have a 7 month old, a 3 year old, and a 6 year old all running around that you have to take care of, and then you're worried, oh, the house needs to be clean, I need to cook dinner, I need to go to work. I was a working single parent, and I burned out to the point of depression. And that is where you do not want to find yourself. And that's why I say how important it is to take me time, which is something I never did until my kids, unfortunately, was much older. But then when I looked back, I realized how important that was. Also, it is very important to have adult companionship. And I don't necessarily mean of the opposite sex, or it can be because it doesn't have to mean that you have some kind of relationship going on if it's just with a person of the opposite sex. But adult conversation is so important because all that goo goo gaga and talking kid talk for so long can drive you there. But that brings me to my next subject, dating while single parenting. So this was one that I definitely struggled the most with because yeah, let's just talk about it. Let's talk about romance. Yes, I said it. Let's just talk about it. Companionship, somebody that might actually pay for your dinner instead of you having to cook dinner. Let's talk about it. Is it this is a question I'm going to pose to you all out there. Um, is it selfish to date as a single parent? I would love to hear your take, and then I'm going to share mine. So Lisa says yes. Oh, are you saying yes to the burnout, or are you saying yes, it's selfish to date as a single parent? I'm kind of I want to I'm curious to know what are your takes on, is it selfish to date as a single parent? Let me know. Drop it in the comment. While I wait on your comments, I am going to read some Lisa says absolutely not. It's not selfish to date. Hello, Marriott. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is it selfish to date? I'm going to drop also this link again. So Sandra says, no, but it can be difficult. Absolutely. Sandra, this is where I'm going. And this is going to be a difficult subject, but I'm going to go there. I'm just waiting on some responses. Is it selfish to date as a single parent? All right. So I don't see any responses. So what I'm going to say is, in my opinion, it is selfish if you date with low standards. If you choose toxic relationships that hurt you or hurt your child more than the love. If you prioritize the peace and not the loneliness, I believe that you could be successful at dating as a single parent. And I'm going to go further into that. Let me see. I don't see any responses. Any more responses? Is it selfish to date as a single parent? I know some of you out there aren't single parents, but I would love to hear what you have to say because I'm about to get into it. So, as I was saying, if you choose the right thought process in dating while you're single, and today's time, you have to be very wise as well because one, you have to take your time in who you're bringing around your children. Don't be in a hurry when you meet someone, especially if you meet them online. Do not be in a hurry to bring them home. That is the first thing I would say. Secondly, you have to test the fruit of the person. How are they with their own children? If they choose to introduce you to their children, how are they with their children? What are their views on children? What are their views on even like blended relationships? You need to make sure that your views and your ideas line up. Now, they don't have to be perfect. You're not going to perfectly agree with anyone. So you have to definitely test the fruit. Also, one I forgot to say, the very first thing I should have said is do a background check. Make sure that you check who this person is before you even go any further. And yes, we all have a past. Even me, I have a past. But it is so important to check the person's background. Now, I'm not necessarily saying, talk to their closest friends or anything. But I am saying do a general check. Has this person been arrested? If they've been arrested, that's not a deal breaker. But have they been arrested for anything that has to do with child endangerment? If they have, I'm sorry, that is a deal breaker for me, and it should be for you. That's my take. This and that I will stand 10 toes down with that one because it's just too much of a risk. And that's kind of something that I've had to deal with in my single life dating. And I will definitely say do that background check. And then allow time to be your friend. Don't see time as your enemy. Time is your friend. Give it time. Um, After a week of talking to someone, it's not time to bring them home to meet your children. And also, one thing that I did notice, and one thing I really appreciated about my husband is that my husband did not want my when we were dating, he did not want to come to my house while my children were there because he didn't want to be introduced to my kids and then ultimately not be there. Say that our relationship didn't work out, so he didn't want to come into my kids' life and then not be there. And that is very admirable. And if there's a man that the man that you're seeking, if that is his attitude, I say A plus plus, because that is a man who respects the fact that you are a single parent and he respects your children. So let me see what the comments say. Sandra says, I wouldn't want to be single because it is difficult for single people without kids. Imagine for people with kids. It is difficult for single people without kids. Imagine for people with kids. Sandra, I don't fully understand, but I think I understand that you're saying that it's hard for people who do not have kids to understand people who have kids. Is that what I understand? Yes, it can be. It definitely can be. Lisa says, I dated, but no one met my kids but mine. Now, exactly. And see, I made that mistake. I did allow someone that I was even engaged to meet my kids a little bit too early. And what that does to your children, and this is from experience again, I'm speaking from experience, I'm speaking real life. What that does to your children is they start to doubt if the people that you bring into their life are they there to stay, or are they coming and going? And so then when you finally bring the right person into their life, they don't take it seriously because they think that it's going to be another person to come and go. And kids need stability before anything. So it is very wise to let time be your friend and not your enemy. Marriott says, if a single dad has lots of time, it means he is not physically caring for his children. Yes, if he has his own kids, but can always be out with the guys or always have time to get away, maybe you need to question, why isn't he putting this time into his children? Exactly. So, very much so. Watch those cues. It's very important, because if you can miss some very important cues, especially if you're moving too fast. So I would say, do not feel guilty about dating while you are single, because kids, they if you find the right person, and I could say, I'm so thankful to God that I did, and my husband is here to stay. And, we're going on 5 years now, and I just cannot even believe it. But, I did run into the challenge of one child having a hard time adjusting to the new relationship. And like I said, it was from the mistakes of bringing others into their life too soon. And remember, parenting does not come with a manual. We do not have a manual that tells us to do it this way. And every child that you raise, you're doing it as a new parent. So when you raise your first child, you're one parent. But when your second child comes along, you're a totally different parent than you were when you were raising your first child. And then when your third child comes, you're a different parent from what you were when your second child comes along. Because as they grow, we grow as we learn to navigate parenting. Because like I said, there is no manual. And, you know, be easy on yourself. Give yourself grace, because you're going to make mistakes. But what is important is when you realize that you are making a mistake, if you're going down that hole, that you stop and take the time to remember, yes, you are going to put yourself first, but also you have to be aware that you are all that your children have. So you have to make sure that you're fully available for them as well. But do not feel guilt of putting yourself first as a single parent. Um, Also, one thing I want to talk about is having goals for yourself as a single parent. I am going to play this video if I can. I could only find it on Instagram, so I'm going to check this out. Oh. No, it's not working. It's not working. Let me try to get it. Give me just a second.
Because mom guilt is a horrendous thing for you to feel, and it's also a horrendous thing for you to do to your kids. I hear from so many of you saying that you're not starting a business, or you're not putting yourself first, or you're not taking time for yourself, or writing that book, or going to the gym because you feel guilty. When you hold yourself back because of guilt, you now saddle your kids with your misery.
Sorry.
Instead, this is what I want you to do. I want you to become the happiest and healthiest and most vibrant you. Because when you
Uh-oh.
start to put yourself first, when you pursue a business or a project that matters to you, you're modeling for your kids what it looks like for a human being to be in their life creating and being alive and taking care of themselves. When you hold yourself back because you feel guilty,
I don't know why this thing is
you make your
freezing.
kids responsible for your misery. Stop it.
So the thing that I like that she said was you make your kids feel responsible for your misery. That was actually the biggest thing I took out of that. When you don't um, choose to continue living just because you are a single parent, um, that's a good question. Hold that thought. Um, Ben, Uncle Ben said, at what point should single mom introduce their boyfriend to their kids? That is a good question. The only thing I can respond is allow time to be your friend. Do not be in a hurry. Now, I've read books and I've seen movies that had a timeline. But for me, putting an actual timeline saying, hey, you should wait 30 days before you bring your kids around, it depends on the family. Me personally, like I said, I felt like I personally made the move too quickly. And I think that if you do that, you definitely can damage the relationships with your kids. And I've seen it. I've seen it. And so I would say you check the relationship. Where is the relationship? Does it seem like it's intensifying? And also, like I said, just take your time as you navigate the relationship. Definitely be on the P's and Q's for cues that your boyfriend is open for children, is ready for the children, that you're ready, and that your children are ready. Yinka says parenting is hard. You are a different parent with every Yes, you are a different parent with every child. And that's why as I've grown with my children, it's like we're growing together. Just as the kids are growing up, I'm growing up too. And it takes, you know, it takes that. It takes you both growing up. Um, Sandra says when you have a ring, so you should get engaged before your kids meet your boyfriend or possible fiance. That's a good point. So Sandra says when you have a ring on your finger, what do the rest of you think out there? Nika says, your family feeds off your energy. This is so true. When your kids see you're doing the things you want to do in life, it models that they can also build and they are not holding you back. So that is a good point. Yes. My daughter, y'all met her. She's been on my show, Rachel. She is now 19. Oh my God, I can't believe she's about to be 20. And one thing she said that really allowed me to realize that, yes, I might have made mistakes along the way, but my kids have watched me grow and that they've seen me um, change and just kind of I don't want to use the word improve in my parenting, but just really um, show them how life throws you lemons, but you can make lemonade. So, as a single parent of three, it was very difficult. And at the time, my kids going back and forth between mom and dad's house, they didn't really understand because mom was the stricter parent, dad was the fun parent. So, here there was order and rules and things like that. At dad's, there wasn't. And so I became the villain. And it was recently that my daughter, since she's been an adult, she's like, Mom, now I understand. Now I understand why you were the way you were when we were growing up. Um, so that's what puts a smile on my face for them to finally say, okay, now I see why my mom was the way she was. Um, Inka said, it's important that we never let our children feel like their existence is holding us back in life. Yes. Oh, and that was the other thing. My daughter Rachel saw me doing everything I wanted to do, starting businesses, just getting out there, doing whatever I wanted to do. And now my daughter is always doing something. If she's not working, she's doing her side hustles. She introduced me to Depop. She knows how to be a young entrepreneur, and I just really feel like she did it by watching me walk through all these stages of life, and I'm so proud of her. She does like 4 or 5 hustles, let me tell you, and it is amazing. I love it. I'm here for it. um Marriott said, how do you handle inheritance as single mom who has now married another? Whew, you trying to get me in trouble on this lie. Because this is something that I'm actually facing right now. I'm working on my will. I'm working on how to um how our blended family are going to handle it if myself or my husband are to pass away. And this is definitely a challenging place to be in. Since I'm still figuring this one out, if there's anyone in the chat, I would love for you to come on the screen and give your thoughts on this, because this is something that I'm currently walking through, and it's a delicate, touchy subject because um, my children are in my other children, my non-biological children are in another country. So it brings another level of difficulty to creating this wheel. So if anyone has some input on that one, I want you to come on screen and share your thoughts. You could say they see and admire your growth. It's like you grow. Yes, you are constantly growing. You never. I always say you do not arrive. You are constantly on a journey, and you don't arrive until you can't go anymore. And that's the day that you stop breathing, and that's when you have arrived. Marriott say, how do you handle it as single mom? Single mom who has now married someone who also had kids before the marriage. That's a blended family. And actually, we are going to do a show on blended families. That's another series in my single parent podcast. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about blended families. Blended families does not have to be as hard as people try to make it to be. It's not always the easiest thing, but you have to have two open-minded parents who are willing to compromise and allow the kids to see that you are on one accord. When kids see that they can't separate you against each other, that you agree, or at least in front of them, agree and are on the same page, it's easier than if they know that they can pin you against each other. So I think the biggest picture, the biggest point of this is making sure that you have a united front in front of the kids. Yika says, Sister Mara and UB, these questions, but yeah, these are questions that need to be handled. Yes, they are definitely questions that must be handled. And it's better to try to get it out the way before the relationship so that you can make sure that you are on the same page. But if you fail to do so and then wait until after you've already married, you've already on the other side, it just definitely puts another layer of challenges that you have to navigate through. It's not impossible. All things are possible. And definitely if you are both Christians, um, you definitely can navigate through this. Sandra says, "My money is my money. Your money is my money." Sandra. Um, she says, Sandra says, even after death, huh? It's still your money, right? I'm with you, Sandra. I, you know, I, fortunately, my husband married a woman who is not just about money, but I am about hard work. So the whole money situation, it's not a huge uh, thing for me. Yes, we all like to have money, but I like to have a purpose for my money. So yes, if I'm making money, wanting money, getting money, whatever, what is the purpose for it? Am I just having it, just have it to buy useless things? Or am I trying to build something? Am I trying to leave my kids an inheritance? Because that right there is the most important thing to me, that you don't only have riches or wealth for yourself, that you leave wealth for your, not just your children, but your children's children. That's what's important to me, especially being raised, as I mentioned, to the real fam before. I didn't come from a wealthy family. I came from a family who, by the grace of God, was able to own a business in a very segregated and prejudiced time in the United States. They were able to own a mechanic shop. And matter of fact, I believe it was the first African American owned mechanic shop in South Austin. But it was definitely a struggle. And so I didn't come from a rich background, but a wealthy background, but it was a seed that was sown into pursuing entrepreneurship. And so I really feel like that's why I am where I am today, because I decided that I was going to leave something for my children's children. And I thank God that my mom and my dad were still able to leave some, a little something for us. And I thank God for it. So therefore, I want to do better. And I teach my kids, like, don't spend every dime that you have. Make sure that you save um, something for your children's children. Uncle Ben says, "No, at Sandra, my money is not your money. Go get your go get your money, girl. Go get your money." No, Ben. I'm about to start something. No, my husband's money is my money, and my money is my money too. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Fortunately, my husband got away with a winner. I am not one to see things like that. I am all about us building together, 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 and it's not about yours and mine. It's ours. Everything we're doing together, we're doing it as a unit. And so, and Sandra said, "Not yours, Uncle Benno. My husband's money is all mine." Y'all are not gonna start with me today in these comments. But yes, that who was it, Marriott? That is a good question. I am definitely going to. I would love. I don't see anyone. It must be a difficult question for most, because I haven't seen anyone come up to kind of share their thoughts on that. It is a touchy one. I'm trying to navigate it. Let me tell you, when I get on the other side, Marriott, I will definitely do a live on how to prepare a will or deal with inheritance as it relates to blended families. I promise you. All right. So I just want to say, at the end of the day, um, putting yourself first it's not a bad thing. You don't want to always put yourself first because that's when it becomes a selfish. You want to make sure there is balance, but you definitely cannot pour from an empty cup. So it is very important for you to do self-care. When you feel like you're coming to the end of yourself, you need to stop and refocus because you've probably missed the cues from your body, your mind, because your body starts showing signs and your mind follows. So you need to make sure that you keep awareness about your state, your physical state, your mental state, and your emotional state at all times. Because if your kids see you broken down, they will also break down. I always say that when I'm sick, it seems like my whole household comes down because it's like, oh no, mom's sick. We don't know how to do anything. So you have to continue to pour into yourself just as much as you pour into your children. Protect your peace. Build, continue to build your future. Continue to, if there is a something that you want to do, something that drives you, something that will make you happy, pursue it. Do not put it on the back burner because sometimes the things you put on the back burner ends up burning. Okay, they end up burning because you forgot that they were there, you walked away, and they burn, and they never come back around full circle. So it is very important for you to keep um, your goals in mind. Um, do talk to yourself, write them on your mirror, put them on your wall, put them on your phone, your when you open your phone, let it be the first thing you see every day. Continue to build yourself so that you, because your kids are watching, they're watching everything that you're doing. So make sure that you emotionally, physically, and mentally are healthy so that you can continue to raise happy, healthy, champion children. You are, and also with that, then you are also teaching your children how to treat themselves by how you treat yourself. So if this has helped you, please share this live. Please tag single parents and follow for more real life conversation that helps move forward with me, Mojo, because I have such the heart for single parents because I survived a very challenging season as a single parent, and I'm here to say you can be happy on the other side. You can come out stronger, healthier, mentally sharp, physically sharp on the other side. Don't be an island. Don't be alone on an island. Reach out and know that there are so many resources out there. If you do find yourself that you aren't um, mentally healthy, or if you find that you're not emotionally healthy, there's so many resources out there. It's never too late to start again. Stop, refresh, and start over. It's never too late. So this is the Real Mojo Show. I am Missy Djomo. Keep your heads up, your heart's soft, and your mojo moving forward. I am going to, let's see if there's any chats. If I was a single mom who married a single dad, I will share it 90 to 10. I'm working for my kids. I will share it. We're still talking about that. Okay, it's, hey, you know what? If it works for you, I am all for it. Yes, just kidding. I don't know how I would handle it. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing, and but it's not impossible. And like I said, if you have two people who are willing to work together, compromise, and understand and communicate effectively, not talk at each other, communicate, talk with each other, and wait. Do not talk to respond. Talk to listen. Do not listen to respond. Listen to understand what your partner is saying, and really do some reflective listening. I'm not a therapist, but these are things that have worked for me in my relationship, and I have seen it also work in others. So yeah, you're welcome, Sandra. I am always happy to on Thursdays when I know that I have a podcast to share. I just hope that you all are learning something from here, or something that you can take back or share with a single parent, share with a parent that's not single but maybe having to raise kids alone for a season, because I know plenty of those those parents as well. It's not easy, but the seasons change. I'm here to say the seasons change, because I am a witness to that. I am proof of that. Seasons changed. Happily married. I was a mother of three. Now I'm a mother of eight, and I love the season that I'm in. So I encourage all of you out there, keep going and keep moving forward. And until next time, keep it real and keep your mojo. I will see you all next time. Bye.